all the clergy. We honor the absence of Elder Ronald Relf. He's not here today. I'm assuming he's down in his back again because I don't see him. Amen. And to all the missionaries, to the mothers, amen, to the men of the house. If you're in your place, I honor you today as the priest of God. Amen. And to the praise worshipers and doorkeepers, to you, the people of God, what a blessing it is to be back in the land of the living. Amen. We bring you greetings from Sister Relf. Amen. We honor her in her absence. Amen. She's doing better, amen, than what she was last week. This Thursday made her 1 week out from her surgery. And if I'm not mistaken, she got about 4 more weeks to go. Amen. And she's doing fine. Okay. Right now, it's just all a blur to me because I'm telling y'all now, I've never been so absent-minded in all my life until I had to start helping Sister Relf. I was supposed to have my lesson for Friday night ready, and I didn't even print it out. I was going to give it to the saints to be ready for Friday night, and I didn't even print it. Don't feel bad. Guess what? I even left my checkbook. I can't even give today. Amen. So you know my mind is somewhere. I don't know where it is. Amen. But by the time I get through doing all this and driving here and doing that, you know, sometimes stuff just leave you. Amen. We had talked about it. I got it ready. Sister Angie downloaded it, put it where it's supposed to be. Amen. Have my checkbook on the desk in my office. All I had to do is grab stuff. I might as well not have an office today. Amen. I've been in there 15 times, still didn't get what I was looking for. Amen. So don't y'all tell me caretaking ain't no job. And what Sister Relf had might be something, but guess what? When folks have to wait on folks around the clock, trust me, it takes a whole lot. Thank God for my son, because Wednesday he came and took the garbage out and took the cans to the street. I probably would have forgot that. Amen. Wouldn't have had no place to put no garbage this week. So I'm telling you, it's been crazy, but the Lord has blessed us. I'm glad to see her progress, though. Amen, because she's not in so much pain as she used to be. She's able to sleep better at night. You know, that first week was pretty rough, because if she wasn't sleeping, you know I wasn't. You know, because every time she moved, I'm on, what's going on? You know, because it's a bit. It's a bit. But I tell you what, it's wonderful to see the handworks of the Lord and to see how God can do things and how God can bless. And some people are just now getting the message. And I don't understand this one because she told it on her night during the district meeting. And by now, I thought everybody would have saw the tape. You know, but she's getting calls and stuff now. People are surprised. But, I mean, you know, it's the way life goes. And I think today that's a good starting point for Health Sunday. I think we need to really understand, especially you women, need to understand these subtle signs of things that's saying, hey, I need some attention. Because the time that it really starts affecting you is when it's almost at a point where you need a miracle. It may start off as a little nudge. It may start off as that's funny. I ain't never felt that before. You know, pay close attention to things because there are things that happen to us that we don't pay attention to until sometimes it's almost too late. I'm thankful that, you know, like I said before, Sister Relf had been dealing with this for over 12 years. But don't think a day didn't pass by whether I wasn't sure whether she was going to be alive today or not. Because once you get into heart failure, that's what it means. Heart failure. Not heart attack. Not heart aches. It means your heart is failing to do its job. And that could be pretty serious. But I just know it's been the prayers and the faith of what we usually do and how we usually react to things that really sustained it. And I could tell you for a fact, now this is what's going to be funny. She's got to start all over again to feel better. She was feeling better the way she was and what she's feeling now. Now think about that. So that showed you how God was sustaining her, even though she was in failure. Because they kept saying, oh, you're going to feel good. She said, I don't feel bad now. That's why it took her so long to get it, because she wasn't really out of sorts to where she couldn't do nothing. But then, you never know how things are going to work. But we thank God. But I want to start off with something that really deals with, personally, women. And I want you to understand, I want to try to do this without butchering it, because some of it is, kind of personal. But I think it needs to be said, because there are warning signs, just like heart problems are warning signs. We cast it off for gas. We cast it off for acid reflux. We cast it off as just a shoulder pain. But all the time your heart is saying, I need some attention. And I want you to just listen, trust me when I tell you, it doesn't matter anyway. We're not going to never be rich, right? Our insurance is only going to do what it do. So worry these folks to death with your little copay. I don't care what go on. If you be concerned enough, I don't care if the whole medical staff see you coming, hate to see you coming, so what? Get something done when you need to get something done. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something now. You may not believe it, but a lot of folk don't really care. I'm just telling you now. And you better care about yourself more than anybody ever cared about you. Spend whatever you need to spend to be in good health. I'm telling you. Don't be saving nothing for this and that. Forget the cruise. You need an exam. Yeah, I'm telling you. Because it could be fatal, y'all. I'm telling you, it could be fatal. There is something that's really on the rise now for women called endometriosis. See, a lot of women know that. So a lot of brothers ain't even thought about it. They don't even know what I'm talking about. Because there's so many things that can go wrong with a woman's body until it's just scary when you think about it. This particular word happens when tissue from the uterus grows outside of it. Let's think about that for a moment. The very thing that's supposed to house life is done flipped inside out. That ain't no good feeling. Attaching to the ovaries and the fallopian tubes, or even to the bladder or your bowels. That's just like a cancer. And it could be a little stomach ache. But who's to say that's not what's happening? Now, I'm not advocating today is the day for me to just be so proud about that and I could talk about it without shame. It's uncomfortable to talk about that. Because I've been married twice, and trust me, I've seen up close things happen to women that it just baffled me how a man could act like he could control what a woman needs to do. I'm serious. I done lived through it. And I'm telling you, if I ever told you a woman needs all the health care and whatever decision she need to make it. Because, and I'm sorry, not going to help her when she's bleeding to death and can't stop. Trust me. Endometriosis affects 5 million women. It's a painful condition. It's a painful condition. It's a painful condition. I don't know a condition a woman have that ain't painful. I don't know nothing that happens to a woman that ain't painful. This is just more pain. Jesus. Do y'all remember the time when I see her face. Serena Williams was pregnant. Y'all remember the time when she argued with her doctors about what she knew was happening in her body, and he said it wasn't, and she almost died? What that says to me is, here this woman was in so much in tune with her health until the doctors didn't even realize what was going on. And had they not took her advice, she would have been dead years ago during her first pregnancy. See what I'm trying to tell you? Women, don't let folk fool you. This ain't no joke. I don't care what folks think. You need to take care of yourself and do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. This condition is known as the silent struggle, and often years pass before it's even diagnosed. Here's the killing part. Too often, black women who have these symptoms receive a misdiagnosis more than once. So that means you're a woman. Everything you deal with is pain. And guess what? Before we can help you, you're going to just have to go through pain. That's what that says. It'd be different if you were in pain and you get diagnosed the first time. This is a known silent killer, and it's a missed diagnosis more than once. Know the warning signs. Brothers, this get a little too deep for you. Just close your ears. Pelvic pain. That get worse over time. Now that's tough right there. I done been married to 2 women, and pelvic pain is not abnormal. A history of lengthy, profuse, the thing at the end of a sentence. You'll catch that later. Just read the tape. I'm trying to do it judiciously. If you're not an English scholar, you don't know what's at the end of a sentence, I can't help you right now. Okay? All right. Pain during your wrestling match. And most folk think that's something special. No. Y'all better help me somebody before I start just unraveling stuff. You don't want me to do that. Help me so I won't stay in the right place. Don't let me get out of bounds here. Even using the restroom. And even during the river time. There's even pain getting and during your pregnancy. Now, brothers, listen, sisters, to me, this just reeks to me of if anything happens, you need to just make them look at you. Because I don't care what you do, all this is associated with pain. Know the symptoms. Love yourself and others enough to consult a physician. I want to stress this one more time before I move on to something else. This particular symptom and crises is on the rise. And it's not on the rise because you're mean or evil or not saved or everything you've been doing all your life is wrong. That's not why it's on the rise. It's only on the rise because some people now are being more in tune to what's going on than what they have been in the past. This condition is not a brand new condition. It's just that people have died from it because no one's ever paid attention to it all of their life. I think it's sad to me when little girls, preteens, and young women grow up and anything I talked about, just rehearse it in your mind, is painful enough for them to accept it and think that's just the way life is. That's not normal, is what I'm saying. We make it normal because we don't do nothing about it. Yeah. And girls grow up to be women and have girls themselves and pass this same scenario on because, oh, baby, that's just the way it is. That's just a fact of life. No, it's not. You could uncheck the fact box by making sure yourself and going to get exams. That's why your pelvic exam is so important. And too many women miss the yearly pelvic exam. And sometimes by the time they decide to take one, when the doctor see all this stuff, it's kind of, it's bad. So I just want to admonish you this morning. Let's be more cognizant of what we're doing. Amen? All right. Whew, I'm glad that one's over. That's hard. That's hard for me to talk about, y'all. My first wife died of cervical cancer. Now, I just want you to connect the dots. What do you think I went through for the 8-9 years? It wasn't no joke. She'd been dead since 1980, and I remember every day of what I had to do, especially when it got worse. I lived it, y'all. I've seen it up close. And when stuff start happening to Sister Relf, she'll tell you. I don't play with that. I make her go to the doctor. I think you need to go. But I don't care what you got to do. I said, you know what? Because you don't want this stuff to turn into something else. Because it will. I've seen it go from this little thing to that little thing to that, from that little thing to the funeral. I've seen it. And it don't take long. When my first wife finally went to the doctor, she found out she had cervical cancer in November. When May was here, we were burying her. That's how fast it went. So saints, I'm serious now. You notice I'm talking about it again. I'm serious. Stay on top of this health stuff. Stay on top of it. Because your plumbing is not like a man's. You got too many things that can blow a fuse in a gasket. I'm just telling you. Yes. Stay on top of it. Amen. All right. There's something on the rise, especially with our children and some adults, because we don't really recognize this. I remember years ago, how many of y'all remember years ago if you fell outside and you went inside and you had a knot and stuff, they put ice on it, and then what was the first thing they told you not to do? Right? Remember that? You know folks don't do that now? And guess what they're having now? Traumatic brain injuries. Each year, nearly 2 million Americans experience TBI, or traumatic brain injury. Results from a forceful blow. That's why parents should never slap their children upside the head. People do stuff like that. Bumping your head, a jolt to the head or body causes and can include falls, gunshots, and/or car accidents. Traumatic brain injury. Here's some of the symptoms. Temporary short-term memory problems. More serious TBIs can lead to permanent disability. Injury may occur immediately or develop gradually over hours, days, or weeks. Now, I could testify for a fact. When I played high school football, my equipment was nowhere near my brother back here. See, he probably had those little pads in the hammer where you could blow them up and fit them to where they fit tight. I only had the little rubber thing going like this with a little thing in the middle where the hammer just went like this. I can't count the times I saw stars when I hit somebody or got hit. I couldn't count the times when I got hit in my head, and when I started breathing, you could smell blood in your nose. Remember that? It wasn't nothing but the grace of God I didn't have no TBI. Never went to the doctor. The only time I went to the doctor was doing my first physical to say I could play football. After that, I couldn't spell doctor. And we push our children into things like this, and they become affected. And then we get mad at our children when they don't remember stuff. How do we not know that's not TBI? How do we know if some of this Alzheimer's didn't start from TBI? I mean, think about it. Alzheimer's is such a common thing now until folks on the news went out to the mailbox and haven't been home in a week because they lost. They don't know where they are. Don't even know how to get back home. See, how do we know? How do we know that fall we had way back when wasn't the start? Here's some of the symptoms. Loss of consciousness. Oh, yeah. I've been in football games and basketball games where it was rough enough to they had to have smelling salt. Oh, yeah, somebody was going to see stars today. And you know what, Sister Angie? Not only the team, but the coaches took great pride in seeing that happen. I played football at a time, they didn't think we practiced if nobody had blood on their uniform. Am I right, Brother Jeffrey? I'm telling you, we had some sadistic folks that was over us, and they're over our children now. Headache or dizziness. I remember getting elbowed so hard back here in the back of my head, I still get headaches every now and then from that. That happened in 1980, 81, 82. Yes. There are things that will linger with you. Confusion, you know, we get confused real bad. We go into the room and forgot what we're going in the room for. Can I tell y'all a secret? See, y'all don't like to play fair. Old folks ain't the only one. You know what? I just learned some tricks here and there to make it look like everything's okay. You know what I do? I say to myself, I'm going in my closet and I'm getting a pair of running tights. And I say that till I get to the closet. And then when I get to the closet, I just get my running tights to come out. There are folks that go to look for stuff. What am I coming here for? See, you just ain't learned the trick yet. You got to keep telling yourself where you're going until you get there. Because, see, once it starts happening too often, you're going to teach yourself how to remind yourself what you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes I'm talking to Sister Relf. If I don't stop talking to her and talk to myself until I go into my closet and come back and then pick the conversation up, because I'm telling you, I get to the closet and I don't even know why I went in the closet. And it don't just happen to me. Yeah. Blurred or double vision. Ringing in the ears. How many times have we heard that? Sometimes you can blow your nose so hard and your ears ring for 2 days. At least mine do. Nausea or vomiting. How many times do we get nauseated or vomit? Sometimes it could be from head injuries. That's all I'm saying. So we have to watch that. Any adult or child experiencing TBI symptoms should seek immediate medical help. These sound kind of comical sometimes, but these are things that I think, because we're so inundated with information and things we think we need to do, we leave off the real simple stuff. Stuff that we should be doing kind of goes out the window because we think what we need to be doing is more important than that. But I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing more important than staying on top of your health. Stand on top of your health. Stand on top of things that go on in your body that affects you and affects how you live. I could tell you for a fact, there are a lot of things that happen to you when you get older that affects you differently than it did when you were younger. I'm telling you. And you have to find a way to create a new normal. Because once you get out of some of these age brackets, you don't get that back. Yeah, you don't get it back. I don't care how bad you used to do, there's some things not coming back. This is the way it is. And then you have to make adjustments for your new normal. See, and our new normal now may be going to emergency, doctor's office, more than we ever went in our life. But if that's what it takes, it's what it takes. Amen? All right. I have another one, and I'll be done. Something that we used to hear years ago, and they used to taught this for little girls at the age of 11 and 12. But now they're changing their stance on this because they're finding out young men are being affected just as much as the young women. I know some of y'all probably, well, what are you talking about? HPV. HPV stands for human papilloma virus. Now watch this. More than 42 million adults have some form of HPV. 42 million. It's the most common wrestling transmitted infection. Y'all with me, right? Okay. Some forms of HPV go away on their own, while other forms are responsible for warts on the skin or on places some people will even dare to go. Fortunately, these conditions are treatable, but you have to know the facts. Now watch this. Growing up, It wasn't abnormal for people to have warts. How do we know that wasn't HPV then? Nobody talked about HPV when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I was around folks all the time that had warts. Hold on a second. Is there anybody in here hear what I'm saying? Have y'all ever been around anybody that had warts? How did we know that wasn't HPV? See, and what I'm trying to show you is, this is how good God is. These things have been around all the time, and we didn't even know we were in danger, but God protected us. Some forms of HPV, can cause cancer of the cervix. This is my first time ever hearing that. How do I know? My first wife may have had HPV and I didn't know it. Cancer of the places that no people should dare to go, and the throat. I didn't know that. I've heard people dying of throat cancer. Suppose it was HPV. I didn't know. HPV is transmitted through skin-to-skin contact. And they're saying it doesn't have to be from a wrestling match. It's just touching the skin. Well, this is going to be scary. And sometimes we hug all kind of folks. Shake all kind of hands. I had a woman on our property about a month ago, had the nerve to get mad at me because I dapped her up. Went and told people, said he wouldn't even shake my hand. And I went back and told her because I heard about it. I said, I don't hardly shake anybody's hand, especially folks I don't know. And by the way, it's my prerogative to allow you in my space if I want you in there. Hello? I think we need to be a little bit more protective. You know, they've been telling us about these masks and we getting lax. I think sometimes we get real laxed. All it takes is skin-to-skin contact. It says women should receive a HPV screening and a pap smear every 3 to 5 years. Now, don't say amen. I want you to be silent. But I want you to just look in your mind and bring up in your mind the date the last time you done that. Don't say nothing to me. Just think of it yourself. If you outside these windows, I think you need to start rehearsing in your mind, setting reminders of certain things, especially during a woman's physical. You got to get it done. You got to get it done. I don't know why I'm saying this. God must be trying to help somebody. But my first wife, I'd give her money to go to the doctor. She would go visit her mother. Go visit her friends. I thought she was going to the doctor. She wasn't going to the doctor. But when she did go and get her screening, it was too late. All I'm saying to you is, I don't care how uncomfortable it makes you. I'd rather them find it out at the beginning, where it's curable, treatable, than when you need a miracle. See, they didn't get too many hand claps on that one. But I'm telling you, I starred in that movie. And that's one movie I wish I had never played in. Because it's no joke watching people suffer from that. And you can't do nothing about it. And you just watch them waste away. That's not a good feeling. If you're not, listen, women and brothers, if you're not going to the doctor once a year, shame on you. And every at least 3 years, you need a pap smear. Every year, brothers, you need your prostate checked. You need your colon checked. Yes. People are dying from those, and they are preventable. All right. That's my health for this Sunday.